Good morning. The whole world is talking about the verdict in the trial yesterday of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and the victory of Johnny Depp in the defamation suit. But you know, Saturday night, Sunday and Monday, we're celebrating the holiday of Shavuot when we received the Torah. And there's nothing new in the world. Everything is in the Torah because the Torah is the blueprint for all of creation and all of life. In the Torah, we have a similar story of defamation of character, and that's the story of Joseph. Joseph is sold into slavery into Egypt, and of course he's hired for a servant in the house of Potiphar. And because Joseph is very attractive, Potiphar's wife tries to seduce him, and finally one day when she's alone with him, she tries to be intimate with him. He tears himself away from her grip, flees the house. And when Potiphar's wife's husband comes home, she accuses Joseph of sexual assault. And of course, we know what happens. Joseph is thrown into prison, accused of violating the wife of his master. And he lives with this reputation for 13 years, until, of course, he's freed from prison. After interpreting the dreams of the butler and the baker, and being summoned to Pharaoh and appointed as Mishnah Lamelech, the viceroy of Egypt. But here something fascinating happens. Pharaoh gives Joseph a wife. And who is the wife? A woman by the name of Asnat. Who is Asnat? An Egyptian woman who converts to Judaism to marry Joseph. But she is the daughter of his former master and his wife. Asnat is the daughter of the woman who accused Joseph of sexual assault. And the question is, why does Pharaoh give the daughter of Mrs. Potiphar, Asnat, to marry Joseph? And the answer our rabbis say is because Joseph was going to be appointed viceroy of Egypt, but he had a reputation of being an aggressive, violent offender, a sexual assault. And therefore, Pharaoh had to clear his name so he could take his position of leadership. And so what better way than his former accuser giving her daughter to marry Joseph, which basically set the record straight in all of Egypt that Joseph was really innocent of those charges. He was cleared of that defamatory accusation. And here we have in the beginning of the Torah, the book of Genesis, a story about defamation of character and how we have to go to every length to restore a person's reputation when it was defamed. And this is why Shavuot, when we receive the Torah, we remember that in every generation the world can change drastically, but the Torah is like a mirror that reflects the truth in every generation. And as we come to the holiday of Shavuot, we know our rabbis tell us that there are 3 crowns that a person could aspire to: the crown of Torah, the crown of leadership, and the crown of success and prosperity. But the rabbis tell us in Pirkei Avot that the crown of a good name, a good reputation, surpasses them all. Joseph assumed all the crowns, but he needed the crown of a good name in order to fulfill his role. And so too the Jewish nation. On the holiday of Shavuot, we receive the Torah, and we get the crown of Torah, and we get the crown of leadership, priesthood as a Jewish nation. We get the crown of kingship. As God said, you will be unto me a nation of priests and a kingly nation. But the most important thing we have to remember is the crown of a good name, our reputation. And that's why our rabbis say that a person who has a good name, a Shem Tov, is a worthy recipient of all the other crowns. They tell a story of a person who was very beloved and righteous, and he was moving away from his city, and everyone came out to see him off, and they were crying and hugging him and kissing him and said, "We're going to miss you." And then as he was about to leave, someone came running and said, "You forgot something. You left something behind." He said, "Let me go look." He went off the horse and wagon. He went into the house. He looked in every room. He came out. He said, "I searched and I searched. I don't see anything I left behind." And the fellow said to him, "You leave behind your good name." The one thing that we always have in life is our Shem Tov. And on this holiday of Shavuot, yes, we're blessed to receive the crown of Torah and to be a nation of leaders, of Kohanim, and a nation of a kingship. But the most important thing we have to make sure is that we have the integrity of our reputation, of our good name, because our good name allows us to be the vessel and the recipient to transmit the Torah and all of its beauty and its majesty to ourselves and through us to the world around us. Have a wonderful day.